Should you prune the suckers off tomato plants? This topic has been discussed for over 100 years, and the truth of the matter might surprise you. In this video, I'm going to look at the pros and cons of pruning suckers off tomato plants. You should only remove suckers off indeterminate tomatoes. These are the ones that keep growing taller and keep producing fruit all summer long. Don't prune the determinate bush type of tomatoes. There are two main ways to grow tomatoes. Option A is to let the plant grow and sucker all at once. It's best to use a cage for this technique since the plant gets quite tall and wide, and the cage is a great way of holding the plant off the ground. Option B is to train the plant to a single stem by removing all the suckers. The stem is usually tied to a vertical string, trellis, or a stake. You can also use a pruning technique midway between these two extremes, and that will provide intermediate benefits. Some people train to two stems by keeping the first sucker and allowing it to form an additional stem, and then taking out all of the remaining suckers. Others remove suckers from the bottom of the plant and then leave all of the top ones. I'll limit this video to looking at the two extreme cases and compare no suckering to complete suckering. Pruning should be done weekly so that you can remove the suckers while they're still small. It's a lot less work not to prune. When you remove the suckers, the plant has less leaf surface, and this reduces the plant's ability to produce food, which is needed by the plant to make tomatoes. Suckering will reduce the total weight of tomatoes compared to no suckering. But this assumes we are comparing an equal number of plants. Most people who use the single stem suckering method grow the plants much closer together, and this allows them to grow more plants in a limited space. Even though the yield per plant is less, the total weight of tomatoes produced can be higher with pruning. Removing suckers also reduces the number of flowers a plant can produce, which results in fewer tomatoes. A suckered plant may produce fewer tomatoes, but they tend to be larger than the ones produced without pruning. A plant that is not pruned produces a lot of leaves, and this delays flowering. As a result, a non-suckered plant takes longer to produce the first ripe tomato. But this does depend on climate. Once temperatures get above 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 degrees centigrade, ripening slows down and even stops. Removing suckers exposes the developing fruit to more sun, which makes them hotter, which in turn slows down ripening. So in hot climates, suckering may actually extend the ripening period. Suckering plants are much more open, and this allows air to flow through them. This lets them dry out faster after a rain or when dew settles on the leaves. This can reduce the incidence of fungal infections like early blight and septoria leaf spot. Slugs are more likely to damage the plant that is not pruned because the dense foliage provides them with both shade and extra moisture. They will spend longer in a dense plant than a suckered one, which dries out very fast. To sum things up, there is no best method. The best pruning technique for you depends on your goals and your climate. Cold climates tend to have a very short growing season, and getting an early tomato is very important. In this case, it is better to prune the plants. Suckering also produces nice large tomatoes, which are perfect for slicing, and that might be important to you. If you tend to get fungal diseases, it is a good idea to prune. For the biggest yield, with the least amount of work, don't bother suckering. This may also be the best option in hot climates where the extra shade helps tomatoes ripen faster. Suckering tomatoes is just one of the many myths I discuss in my book, Gardening Myths. Books 1 and 2 are now available, and the best place to get them is Amazon.